Hello and welcome to the FSF PopCast Live Edition.
Well, hello.
Hello!
How is everybody tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, I'm doing pretty darn snazzy.
Aw. Well, guys, welcome to our Live at 5. I am not Tim.
Neither am I. I'd like to think we're both better looking than Tim, but I'll leave that up to you. So, Kathleen, why are we here?
We are here talking about episode 3 of Secret Invasion.
Right. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first episode you actually watched, right?
It's the first complete episode I've watched.
Okay.
I watched the, first half of the first episode.
Right, and then you fell asleep while I was watching it.
No! I got distracted by your child.
Oh, okay, well, there's that. But you've been kind of keeping up with the broad strokes of the story from me and Tim and heckling us and all the other videos.
I would totally heckle you.
Yeah, you totally heckle us. It's just kind of what you do.
I'm sorry. I thought that participating in the comments was good for the YouTube algorithm.
It really is. All right. So, for anybody who has not watched the episode yet, spoilers ahead.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Yep. And hello to you as well.
Hey, look, it is Tim.
It is. And yes, I sometimes am. It's okay. You learn to live with it.
It happens.
So,
Tim gets to be on the heckling side of the comments today, though.
oh wow, this is a rare treat for him. He gets to be the Statler and Waldorf of our show.
He is the old man.
I'm not the old one in the room this time.
Woo!
Okay.
Wait, well, but you are here because Tim's not here.
You know what I mean.
No, I don't.
Fine. All right. So, Kathleen,
John West.
what did we learn in this week's episode?
Stuff.
All right. So,
Weird things.
end of last episode, we found out Nick Fury was married.
Yes.
And he got in trouble for not wearing his wedding ring.
Which happens when you're dumb and forget your wedding ring.
But mine is on. See?
It is.
I remember to put it on.
I'm proud of you.
Yes.
You did it just so I couldn't say that you didn't have it on, didn't you?
That's right. I took extra care to make sure it was on tonight. Yeah. So apparently her name is Vara.
Yes.
Um,
And she apparently is a Skrull.
yeah.
And he knows she's a Skrull.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Hey, people come from different backgrounds. Sometimes opposites attract. It happens. But
Wait, are you a reptilian alien that I didn't know about?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Oh, goodness.
Yes, we're going to get into this a little tiny bit, Tim. There are a lot of clues in the title. Betrayal. So, Kathleen.
Yeah.
If I was gone for 5 years because I was blipped out of existence, would you be mad at me?
Yes.
If I was gone for 5 years because I was blipped out of existence, and then when I got home, instead of coming to see you, I went up to my space station. How much trouble would I be in?
So much more than just the why didn't you put your wedding ring on?
I know, right? So I'm kind of surprised that Fury's still walking after just the opening scene.
He would have 2 robotic eyes.
Amongst other prosthetics, probably.
He would have to see a small trash panda about extra prosthetics.
Yes. So I was really impressed with the presentation of marital tension here.
It was one of the most cordial fights I have seen on TV.
That is not a face I want aimed at me, though.
No.
Nope, not at all. Yeah. Although the detail...
Can we make it stop because it's scaring me?
Okay, it's scaring you? Okay. Although the detail of eggs cooked differently in space, I appreciated that because...
I can only imagine that they would.
Yeah, we were just talking about baking at different elevations and how things turn out differently.
Even sometimes the different humidity levels.
Yeah. So in space, it's got to be a whole lot weirder.
I mean, it's space.
Right.
Although I can imagine that space eggs would probably be fluffier.
And yes, Tim, I think we've both had that face aimed at us. It's not fun.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You having fun digging that grave? That's what I thought.
Yeah. So then, continuing the discussion of family and interpersonal relationships, Fury got told off a lot this week.
He did.
And what did Talos tell him to do?
Use his words.
Which I thought was hilarious.
Who tells Sam Jackson to use his words?
I don't know. We tell a 4-year-old to use her words?
She's almost as scary as Sam Jackson, though.
There are days. There are days. But yeah, so for him, first of all, to be kind of put in his place by his wife and then be told to use his words, I thought was great. I mean, this is a person who used to be at the top of the game, and now he's being put in his place left, right, and center.
Yeah, use your words and tell me that you need my help and that you are useless without me.
Yeah, and he does it. And no, Tim, he can't use his big boy words. The show's not rated for that. Okay.
He has to use his Disney words.
This is not a Quentin Tarantino joint. This is Disney, okay?
Use your mouse appropriate words.
Yes. But then moving on from that, Gravik, the big bad of the series so far, goes into his machine.
Super Skrull.
Yes. I mean, we don't actually see the machine work on him, but we see him in the room with it and he's going into it. You know? And then, in what I think is one of the coolest scenes,
yeah,
he has his parlay with Talos. Parlay? It depends on whether or not you're a pirate, I think.
When you're a pirate, it's parlay because
Right.
you have to get the R in there.
Okay. And during that conversation, you know,
I want to watch that movie now. Sorry.
If only we had a Disney program that we could watch all the Disney-owned stuff. As long as they don't take it off their service.
Stop doing that.
We hate that.
Anyway.
Speaking of piracy. Anyway. Not that we would encourage it. Ever. All right. But at the end of that parlay, we find out that Gravik has extremis powers. For those of you who aren't super nerdy.
Like me.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that was called.
Right. Those are from Iron Man 3. But we've never seen it used to heal an injury before like this, which I think is kind of cool.
It is cool the way you can see the bones.
Yeah. Yeah, usually if you can see bones through your hand, something's wrong.
I did think it was a little weird that when there's a knife in his hand, instead of pulling the knife out, he pulled his hand out.
Yeah.
But also, I guess if you want to show off your new cool superpower.
Right. I mean, if it's in a special effects budget. Speaking of which, so he's got the extremis powers that we had seen on the gene splicing screen in a previous episode.
Mm-hmm.
But then we also know from the preview that Gravik ends up with Groot powers. Gravik is Groot.
No. Don't do that to my Groot.
But, I mean...
It's also pretty cool.
Yeah. So then when is he going to have his other powers show up? Or are other Skrulls going to have those powers, combinations of those powers?
He did mention Super Skrulls.
He did.
He talked to the council, right? Council? Yep. With the wanting to have Super Skrulls. And allowing humans to exterminate themselves.
Yeah, which, I mean, looking at how they've set things up, it's very doable. You know, to get humans to turn against each other, you know, have one fire missile at another. And, I mean, don't want to get into the real world too much, but that is how things start.
Mm-hmm.
A single bullet starts a world war.
Yes, it does. Literally.
Yeah. Hey. But Emilia Clarke's character, Gaia. Which I struggled with pronunciation. Was it Gaia? Was it Gaia? I've heard it said both ways, but it is Gaia. Said enough of the episode. I've got it now.
And again, depends on your accent.
It does. It's like Han and Han, you know. Both are right. Depends on your dialect. But
they can't have killed her already.
Well, you know, I mean...
But we also thought that about not Sherbatsky.
Yeah. Agent Sherbatsky. And Dr. Bilbo. Which I have theories on that one, but I'll wait to nerd out with.
Agent not Sherbatsky.
Yeah.
And Dr. Bilbo. Yes.
So, I mean, she's been being a double agent this whole time, doing a great job texting her dad, Talos, to let him know what's going on. But she was set up.
Yes, she was.
Gravik knew there was a spy and just set up this whole scenario with the nuclear sub and the UN plane to flush out the spy.
Weird.
Yeah. But you know,
weird.
But her death scene, we don't actually see her body like we've seen everybody else.
I mean, we saw the Skrull body with the bullet wound.
Right.
But also, that doesn't mean she's dead.
Right. I mean, how many people have we seen dead in comic book movies or seen them fall into something they shouldn't come back from? And they do. I mean, the rule used to be that everybody stayed dead, or nobody stayed dead except for Bucky and Uncle Ben. Well, Bucky's alive.
Yeah.
Uncle Ben, not so much.
Uncle Ben's always dead.
And you know, Tim, what's interesting about that is on IMDb, Amelia Clark is listed as being in all 6 episodes, and I know IMDb is the Wikipedia of the entertainment world, and it's not always right. And hello, Scarif.
Woo!
Nice to hear from you, folks. But she could still appear.
Sure.
There could be recordings of her, in-universe recordings, flashback scenes. The character doesn't necessarily need to be alive to appear in the series. Just something to think about, to mull over. But Kathleen,
John,
you're a fan of James Bond, right?
I am.
You like spy movies?
I do.
And you grew up with Deep Space Nine.
Yes.
Star Trek series, right?
Yes.
They had shape-shifting aliens all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
Like them infiltrating Starfleet was a huge plot point in season 6?
Something like that.
Yeah. So, based on those things...
In addition to my love of Doctor Who and also shape-shifting things.
Yes.
But yes.
What's your impression of the story in this episode?
Trust nobody. Like always.
Okay.
Trust nobody and nothing. I do find it intriguing that it's we're going to do all of these things, we're going to infiltrate the government, and then we're going to let you destroy yourselves.
Yeah.
Because that is probably the easiest way to get mankind to destroy themselves. Or to end humanity. Excuse me. To end humanity is to have
It's okay to
humankind.
get emotional.
No, emotional or, gassy.
Yeah.
That was just a burp. But anyway.
Yeah. And yeah, Tim, flashback scenes do seem like a reasonable use for that. But yeah, I mean, I'm thoroughly enjoying the series. It's a little slower paced. This is definitely not an episode 9 edit where every 30 seconds you're on a different planet.
Right. And I feel like that's actually beneficial because of the number of timelines that have been so rushed recently in our entertainment world. Especially with not this current writer's strike, but the writer's strike before that, when suddenly plots that were supposed to be season-long stories got cut.
Yeah.
And loose ends very, very quickly duct-taped.
Yeah.
I kind of like the slow burn. I kind of like the slower, and I mean, it's an invasion. Invasions are not always fast.
Right. An attack is fast, but an invasion sometimes takes time.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
All right. So,
It has definitely piqued my interest that I will want to watch the first 3 episodes, or the first 2 episodes all the way through first.
Oh, cool.
And then I'll want to continue watching it. But
awesome. Well, I look forward to having these conversations with you again. Maybe not on screen, but
I will always be welcome in the comment section.
Yes, you will. You're always welcome to heckle me and Tim, especially Tim.
What? I would never heckle Tim.
Yeah.
Miss Tim.
Oh, that's a good comparison. The Andor of the MCU. I was just talking to somebody the other day, and he didn't like Andor because it was slow and boring. It's like, but that's the point. It's supposed to be a slow-moving story where you get involved in the characters and what's going on around them. But that's not for everybody. That's okay. Some people want Transformers and Fast and the Furious.
Wait. I want a Transformers Fast and the Furious.
Okay, that would actually make sense why the cars can do the things they can do. But
by the way, do Transformers have life insurance or car insurance?
I don't know.
Or do they need rental insurance too?
Huh. And my biggest disappointment with the Fast and Furious movies, and we are totally off topic right now, is that the 10th movie was not just called Fasten. It should. Yeah, Fasten. Come on. You can do Too Fast, Too Furious. You can do Fasten.
Oh boy. That'll probably be the 12th one? 11th? How many of them are there? Are there 10 now?
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. So.
I agree with Tim, though. Andor of the MCU and Scarif had said it first. But, yeah.
But
I think.
We have it on camera. You agreed with him. Can't take it back.
Bye.
Nope. All right. So, those are our thoughts on Secret Invasion Episode 3, Betrayal. If you have some other comments and you're watching this on
we
replay,
need the jazz hands.
You always need jazz hands.
Betrayal.
It could be spear fingers.
No, because that's celebration. This is for dramatic effect.
I know so little about choreography.
And these are these things.
Speaking of drama, we'll be back on Monday night at 6:30 Eastern Time with
Lordy.
my favorite show of the month, our Star Wars RPG night.
Don't kill the Wookiee!
I might not kill her, but I might shave her.
You can't shave a Wookiee!
You can.
No!
It's just incredibly messy.
It's It's not fair. They're prone to ingrown hairs.
All right.
Oh, well, this has been our Live at 5.
Yep. Keeping it short and sweet tonight because we have a 4-year-old who's unsupervised in the other room.
I hope our house isn't on fire.
It's not. The alarms would be going off.
That's true.
All right. Well, thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you have a good night.
On behalf of the rest of the hosts of the FSF PopCast, we want to thank you for listening to this episode. If you'd like to be a guest on a future episode, please contact us by means of Twitter or Instagram using the handle @FSF PopCast. Or go to www.fsfpopcast.com and click on the contact link. Thanks again, and hope you enjoyed the episode.